Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, and for 20 of us out there, unfortunately our NFL season has ended and it is time to look at 2019 NFL mock drafts. This is my first official 2019 NFL mock draft, as finally the regular season is now over. 20 of us, 20 fans, 20 NFL fan bases are forced to look at mock drafts for the next 4.5 months. Yay, I can't wait for that, and it begins today. Remember, there will be new mock drafts each and every Monday. These are mock draft Mondays here on Sports Fan Entertainment, so make sure to stick around and subscribe for more. So with that said, I took all y'all's feedback from last week and I updated the mock draft that is now displayed on your screen. Nick Bosa still going number 1 to the Arizona Cardinals. Nothing has changed there, but number 2, I now have the 49ers taking defensive end Josh Allen. And I understand the quandary for the San Francisco 49ers. I understand they don't want to take another 3 technique or another 5 technique in terms of their defensive line. They don't want to take Quinnen Williams, but I'm telling you people, that doesn't mean that they won't, because if they evaluate Quinnen Williams to be much better than Josh Allen, do not be surprised if they just have to take Quinnen Williams instead of Josh Allen. I do have Josh Allen being mocked to the 49ers in this mock draft, but I still believe people are quickly dismissing the possibility of Quinnen Williams going number 2 to the 49ers, because I mean, people, he's either going to be ranked number 1 or number 2 on most NFL teams' draft board, and that is hard to pass up. Now, we saw with Leonard Williams back in the 2015 NFL draft, teams were able to pass him up and they're okay with that. But we also saw with Joey Bosa, who wasn't a great fit for the LA Chargers at that time, San Diego Chargers. He wasn't a great need for them. They had Melvin Ingram, they had other guys they thought could rush a passer, but they just said, you know what, who cares? Joey Bosa is the best available at number 3. We're taking him. So be careful before we say the 49ers will not take Quinnen Williams. But for this mock, I said, okay, I'll give the 49ers Josh Allen instead of Quinnen Williams, but I may switch around and switch that back up in my next mock draft. So with that said, I have the Jets taking Quinnen Williams. And again, I know they have Leonard Williams, I know they have Steve McGlendon, but someone is going to have to take this guy, and someone is going to love to take this guy. They can't just keep taking guys that are worse players than him when they have, I mean, these are bad football teams, and these football teams could use a great defensive lineman like Quinnen Williams. So I'm going to keep mocking him in the top 4 picks because he's talented, and to me, he will ultimately go there. Outside of that, Reuters, I have taken Clelin Ferrell, the defensive end out of Clemson, and people are up and down on this guy. I see him ranked top 5 on some big boards. I see him ranked lower on others, so I want to get a better feel for where his stock is, but for right now, that is where I have him going. Outside of that, number 5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I have them taking Jonah Williams, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. Remember, Donovan Smith, their left tackle out of Penn State, he's already done in terms of his rookie contract. They're going to have to extend him, re-up him, or move on to the left tackle position. He hasn't been a great left tackle. Right? So if they want to move forward with Jameis Winston and then signing as if they want to, why not give him better protection in hopes that somehow, perhaps, that wakes him up, that turns him into the franchise quarterback they've been waiting for him to be for the past 4 years. Take Jonah Williams, put it at that left tackle position. You could even re-sign Donovan Smith and move him to right tackle if you're ready to move on from DeMar Dotson, who has not been great at that spot either. There's a lot of things that they can do, and Greedy Williams is also a very distinct possibility here, as the Buccaneers could use a cornerback. And speaking of Greedy Williams, I have him going number 6 to the New York Giants. Now, yes, they have Janoris Jenkins, I understand that, but they could use a really good cornerback opposite of Janoris Jenkins. They hoped Eli Apple would be that for them, and he wasn't, right? So they go back to the cornerback wishing well here, and they get Greedy Williams, and this would help them to continue to build upon their defense, which really struggled in 2017 and 2018. They believe that Eli Manning is still their franchise quarterback. He's still their guy. Okay, fine. Although I disagree, fine. Let's build the defense, right? We already have Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham, and we'd love to take Jonah Williams if he was available, but he's not. So let's go ahead and take Greedy Williams at the cornerback position. Number 7, at the Jaguars, taking Dwayne Haskins. Finally, the Jacksonville Jaguars are ready to move on from Blake Bortles. It was hilarious watching the telecast of the Week 17 game between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars, they were talking about Blake Bortles and how they interviewed him, how they talked to him before the game, and he was like, yeah, this is my last game in Jacksonville. I mean, it really feels that way. I can't believe he was that blunt and that honest, but he knows it. So at that point, I know it. It's time to move on from him. And finally, the Jaguars know it, and they select Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback out of Ohio State, who is currently quarterback 1. Things could change, but right now he is quarterback 1. Devin White goes to the Detroit Lions. Now, yes, I understand they took Jared Davis only a couple years ago, but he hasn't been that impressive yet. They could use a guy like Devin White next to him, and hopefully they both grow and play well together. The Lions defense was not great this season. This would be a great pick for them at number 8. Number 9, N'Keal Harry, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. Now, yes, this might be a reach to some. Currently, I like N'Keal Harry. This is a bit, rich for me, but I think this would be good because, look, the Buffalo Bills need wide receivers. I mean, Josh Allen has to keep running the ball himself. He can't sustain that. I know he has a huge frame. The guy is 6'5", 230 pounds. You want him to be able to throw the football occasionally, right? You want him to occasionally find wide receivers down the field and throw the football to some semblance of a wide receiving core. So I'd actually be fine with the Buffalo Bills taking the number 1 wide receiver off the board, and right now that is N'Keal Harry. So N'Keal Harry goes to the Buffalo Bills. And number 10, I have Ed Oliver going to the Denver Broncos. I mean, essentially right now he's dropping. I mean, people are low on Ed Oliver. I see him now out of the top 10 in a lot of mock drafts. I still had him barely in the top 10 in this mock draft, but things may change in the next mock. He's had some character concerns. He's had some fights with his coaches, right? You see him on the sideline having issues there. So there's problems there, and people question his effort this season, how good he can really be at the next level, how he projects to the next level. There are questions that are beginning to arise around Ed Oliver. I'm watching the situation carefully, but right now, make no doubt about it, his stock is dropping, and the Denver Broncos, I think right now, would love to take him. Put him next to Von Miller, next to Bradley Chubb. Jesus Christ, what a defensive line you would have in Denver. Okay, now who knows if they're going to be running a 3-4 or 4-3 next year. I mean, who knows? They're still on the coaching search, but still, you would love that front 7 for the Denver Broncos. So those are the top 10 picks. In my next video next week, we'll discuss picks 11 through 20 and what those teams should do and my rationale for those picks. Now, the 1 through 10 will change as well, but I'm going to talk about in the video 11 through 20. That way, everyone gets a little bit of my thoughts and opinions in terms of me expressing them through my beautiful spoken word. So until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.